Yo, what's up everybody? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we had a little bit of a surprise big game announcement for the Nintendo Switch recently that I didn't cover, and that is World War Z is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And Saber Interactive, the development team behind the Switch version, said it's the hardest thing that they've ever had to do. And remember, they were behind The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch, a port that many people thought was not possible at all. So recently in an interview with CEO Matt Karch, this is what he had to say to IGN. Quote, "The biggest challenge was finding which compromises could be made to the game which wouldn't have a significant impact on the visuals. We needed to make sure the game looked great, fit into the Switch's memory and RAM at a solid frame rate. There was really no single factor which made this a reality. We experimented consistently for the first few months until we found that balance. Keep in mind that we are rendering scenes with hundreds of enemies and 4 players online. Getting this to run on Switch is the hardest thing we have had to do. This is true even though we are porting our own Swarm engine over to Nintendo Switch." Now, for those who haven't heard about World War Z, you can see a little bit more information on the game, link in the description below. But it is a game that has like a bunch of different co-op elements. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead, for example. It's kind of like that game, but like a new age Left 4 Dead. You have classes of each character, they all have their attributes and abilities that they can do, and you have to survive this zombie invasion. It's actually a pretty cool game to watch, and if you've got friends, it definitely scratches that new Left 4 Dead itch that Valve obviously isn't going to do anytime soon. So World War Z is a pretty cool game from what I've seen. Now, I've never played it, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the Switch version runs, but if anybody could do it, it's these guys right here. I mean, we know about Virtuos, we know about Panic Button, but Saber, they're the next great Switch port developers, which they were recently acquired by THQ Nordic. I talked about this before. I think I even said it on the Spongecast, one of the other podcasts that I do, is that I said, well, maybe THQ Nordic got them because instead of missing out on getting Switch versions like they have before with THQ Nordic, so for example, like Darksiders 3 didn't come to Switch despite Darksiders 1 and 2 coming to Switch, maybe they want to actually get a team that can do Switch ports and do them very well. So maybe that's the reason why they acquired Saber. Because before Witcher 3, Saber was known for NBA Playgrounds in terms of their work on that game. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see, and I'm excited to see how this port of World War Z is going to run on the Nintendo Switch. So what are you guys' thoughts with Saber, the amazing developers behind The Witcher 3, and also with World War Z saying that it's the hardest thing that they've ever done, even more than that game? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, we've had a lot of shakiness when it comes to Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. But recently, I was watching Spongebob SquarePants with my daughter, and I wanted to make sure that I covered this for her and for everybody out there that's looking forward to Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. So it seems like we do have a release date for this game. Now, according to Xbox Live, there's a listing on there, and it actually lists the game for June 23rd. Plus, we have a bunch of new amazing screenshots for this game. Now, I will be honest here, guys, it's not a game that I played back when it came out in, what, the mid-2000s or so. I did not play that game on the PS2. It looked lame. When I saw that game, I remember watching it like on IGN or just seeing something like that. It looked lame at the time in terms of what I was playing. Was not into that stuff at all in terms of a 3D platformer in the 6th gen. Now, from what I understand, this is like the best Nickelodeon game ever made when it was originally released back on the 6th gen systems. So the fact that we're getting this one in HD, obviously remade to look so much better and everything, like, that's a good thing, right? Because it's a pretty good platformer, 3D platformer, which we don't have a lot of 3D platformers anymore. So I'm happy that the game is coming out, and I'll be more than happy to see what the fuss is about when it comes to it. Because I do like the IP, SpongeBob SquarePants. It's a funny show. It's a good IP. So I do like it, but I've always been very hesitant on Nickelodeon games ever since I was playing like Ren and Stimpy and stuff like that as a kid, because those games kind of suck. The Ren and Stimpy game, I think like All Real Monsters, all these Nickelodeon games that I used to play back in the day, man, they were not very good, and I remember them not being good. So I was always hesitant on Nickelodeon games. But we will see how this one stacks up, because I mean, this is one of the most iconic ones and people say that it's really good. So is it nostalgia blinding them, or is the game actually good? Well, we'll find out potentially on June 23rd. But remember guys, THQ Nordic has been very dodgy on when this game is going to be coming out. There's not an official release date from them, so until we get that from them, then we're not really going to know exactly when it's coming, but we do know that it's probably going to be on June 23rd according to this Xbox Live listing and these awesome new screenshots that we're getting here. So what are you guys' thoughts on Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, listed for June 23rd? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the next topic here, we have a Splatoon sighting. What's this? Splatoon sighting? Yes, Splatoon version 5.2.0 is live, and we've got all, I mean all, of the patch notes for you guys. Link in the description below. There are a ton of buffs, nerfs, changes, special weapons here and there in terms of tweaking things, buffing up stuff that shouldn't be buffed, debuffing things that maybe should have got buffed. I'm not really sure. I don't know what's going on here. Splatoon 2 is crazy. There's still so many people that are playing this game, and they're still balancing it. Shout outs to Nintendo for the continued support on this game, whether it was the single player content, auto expansion, or just overall the Splatfest and all that. I had so much fun playing Splatoon 2, and the fact that they're still going through, despite probably not even needing to, but they're still going through and updating the game, that's really cool to see. And to me, it shows that they want to keep this interest in Splatoon 2, because they're probably, I would think that Splatoon 3 is probably being worked on at this point, and we might see it. We might see it in the next year or two, because you have to remember, Splatoon 2 came out in 2017. It's going to be the 3-year anniversary this July of Splatoon 2 on the Nintendo Switch. So 3 years. So I do think that they definitely could be working on something new for us. And maybe we see it in this generation. Maybe it comes on the next Nintendo Switch. Maybe it's cross-gen. Who knows? Nintendo doesn't do that too much. We've seen it a couple times with stuff like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example, or The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So maybe it's one of those games too. It's a cross-gen game that really gets people to pick up the next Nintendo Switch. So what are you guys' thoughts on this when it comes to Splatoon 2? I still play with my users here. Heck, we're going to play this week as well with the Elite Ninja here. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of these changes in action. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, guys, and moving on to the final topic here, which I probably saved the best for last in this case, because Sony is doing something absolutely amazing with the PlayStation 4, and they're announcing a Play at Home initiative. This is for people to stay at home and play video games instead of going out and potentially contracting the CV to spread around. So you'll be able to, at any point, from not at this point, all the way to May 5th, download free games on your PlayStation 4. So let's go ahead and talk about this right here. So free games to play at home. Support Play at Home. PlayStation will try to make those occasionally dull moments more exciting by offering Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, and Journey available for free for a limited time through digital downloads from April 15th at 8 p.m. PDT through May 5th, 2020 at 8 p.m. PDT. Once you redeem the games, they are yours to keep. So they're not like PS Now, or they're not like PS Plus, where if you stop subscribing to the service, all of a sudden you lose access to those games. These are actually games for you to keep, which is the best thing. They honestly could have just made it free to play for that time period, and people would have just be like, okay, cool, I can go play any of the Uncharted games, right? 1080p, 60 frames per second, any of those games, which play beautifully on there. I've actually played a little bit of Uncharted 2, and I kind of want to go through and actually beat Uncharted 3 at 1080p 60 frames per second, because I'm not a huge fan of the Uncharted series, but I'm not gonna pass up free, because I never bought the Uncharted collection on the PlayStation 4 because I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just get it when it's super cheap, and then I just never ended up getting it. So I waited, and it was a good job. So on that, so I think these are pretty good for the price of free if you have a PlayStation 4. So I love that. It's a very good initiative. I like what Sony's doing here. They're giving you the Nathan Drake collection. I mean, you get 3 games, all 1080p 60. The only kind of bummer with it is that there's no multiplayer in there. They did strip out the multiplayer, so that sucks, because Uncharted 2 has really good multiplayer and the servers were shut down. So if you want multiplayer Uncharted, obviously Uncharted 4 is the way to go. But at the same time, like I said, you can't really knock free when it comes down to it, and you can keep them. You don't have to give them back. It's not a rental, it's not streaming. You actually get to keep them digitally. So I absolutely love that. So I think it's really cool, and I cannot wait to boot up some Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3, maybe Uncharted 1 again. I mean, might play a couple of those on stream or something like that. So what are you guys' thoughts when it comes to all the different topics here? World War Z coming to Nintendo Switch, Spongebob SquarePants, Splatoon 2 still getting updated, and this cool play-at-home initiative. Oh, and one more thing that I wanted to add here. Unfortunately, for people in certain parts of the country, you're going to be getting like knack instead, so that's not so good. But yeah, I'll have details on that. So make it an American account and download the American one. So just make it an international account. It doesn't matter if you live somewhere else in the world. Like, just make it an American account and you'll be able to download like the Nathan Drake collection and all that. So anyway, all right guys, that wraps it up here. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. All right guys, that wraps it up for this one here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on Twitter. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.